life blurs spinning past. Bleachers packed, cheering loud, revving engines proud. Under lights we race, feel the earth's embrace. Friday night, fight the night, tires bite, gripping tight. Victory slipping sides, under the lights we ignite. Burning rubber speed thrills, blood cold, my spine chills. Raging hearts, dark nights, racers chasing lights. Spinning out, crash, you crawl, life on the edge, one call. Rectify the fall, under the lights stand tall. Friday night, fight the night, tires bite, gripping tight. Victory slipping sides, under the lights we ignite.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll. Here this evening is the Dirt Street Stocks with the Dirt Clash Super Street Series. Get ready to rock and roll from the beautiful Oswego Speedway. These drivers are ready to rock and roll here on the evening. Friday Night Lights are ready to rock and roll. These drivers are ready to go to battle. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Mama Bear, Susie Dickinson with the heart reaction here on the broadcast. William Hargraves with that like on the stream. My boy Craig Michael Deacon coming in with that heart reaction, as well as Brycey Bear, Bryce Dickinson coming in with that share on the broadcast as well. How are you, Bryce? How are you? Brycey Bear coming in, showing the big love here in this one with the heart reaction as well on the broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to rumble here with the Dirt Street Stocks from the beautiful Oswego Speedway. This is going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be a very exciting race to see these drivers battle door to door. Elbows up racing out there on the speedway is going to be an absolutely amazing night of action here on Peacemaker Gaming. Is not only do we have the Dirt Clash Super Street Series Friday Night Lights race right now, but we will be back right after this broadcast with another broadcast as the MNT Cup Series heads to the very beautiful Michigan International Speedway for their third race of the season. As we'll get ready to rock and roll though here in this one, as the anticipation continues to grow. Each and every one of these drivers, they know that things are going to get ready to rumble here in just a few more seconds, and they know that they got to be on top of their A game here, as no qualifying random heat rates is really going to make things interesting here for these drivers, as they've got to kind of get a little bit of luck on the pill draw. They got to get a little bit of luck on, you know, kind of working themselves through the field here. If you start deep in a heat race, it's very, very tough to work yourself around a lot of these great, tough competitors, and especially trying to get into any of the transfer positions here on the evening. Johnny Nolan says, let's go DWR in Mr. Jackson, number 8 with the checkered flags. Mama Bear says, hello, my boy Aaron. Hello, Mama Bear. How are you? Miss Susie Dickinson coming in, showing the love here in this one. Jeremy Sexton says, fun track should make for great racing. Good to see Aaron Woods. Good to see you as well, Mr. Sexton coming in, showing the love here in this one. Is Jeremy with that heart reaction on the broadcast. Charles Barnes and Johnny Nolan both coming in with the thumbs up here as well, as we'll get ready to rock and roll heat race number 1 on to the speedway. These drivers are ready to go to battle, as they are all locked, stunked, and loaded into the server, and we will get the Friday Night Light Series underway here this evening. Is starting in the pole position. We're waiting for him to jump onto the racetrack. It is going to be the number 2020 ride of Philip Sexton. To his outside is the 34 ride of Dustin Benton. New looking paint scheme here for the Throttle Down Motorsports number 34 ride of the Big D machine of Dustin Benton there in second. Jim Revis is going to start now in that pole position as the DWR Evil One Graphics, the Karma ride, will be starting here in the top spot, as unfortunately Philip Sexton missing the start of this heat race. So that is a tough break for him. That'll move Justin Blazier up a row as well. So the 48 will now start in position number 3. He's got the 2020 of Jacob Sexton there to his outside. T-Jack Tyler Jackson back again in the Alpha Shark 822 ride here on the Speedway. So T-Jack in the Black Diamond Mafia Majula Speed Shop number 8 ride will start back here at the rear of the field, as Philip Sexton will have to start from pit side here in this one. As the Big D and Jim Revis will get ready to rumble here on the front straightaway. One more pace lap around Oswego Speedway for a lot of elbows up, fender banging action here this evening, as Jake Stefanski says, let's go, Jakey coming in, showing the love here in this one, says love Oswego. Yes, Sirski, especially when it's, you know, virtually almost a home track race here for all the Stefanskis here on the evening, as Mr. Hargraves says, best broadcaster in the business. Hello, Aaron. Hello, Mr. Hargraves. How are you? How you doing this evening, Will? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day, as these drivers, they came here to play. Is down at a quarter number 4. We will see that green flag fly door to door down into quarter number 1. Revis down low. Dustin Benton up through the middle here. We'll see if the Big D can take this lead down the back straightaway. Contact! Both drivers coming together, but they both keep themselves pointed in the right direction. Dustin Benton at the front of the field. Jim Revis now back to position number 2 as lap number 1 into the books here at Oswego Speedway. Jacob Sexton there in position number 3 as Tyler Jackson and Justin Blazier right there behind him, and Philip Sexton out there onto the racetrack here. Unfortunately for the 2020 ride, the Mad Dog Racing machine had to start down pit side, and unfortunately he's not down a lap, but he is unfortunately at the rear of the field here, and he is quite a ways away from our lead pack. He's going to need probably a caution flag or something to happen to be able to reel in the top 5 here this evening, as Dustin Benton out in front trying to open up a bit of a lead between himself and the old man, the grumpy old man, Mr. Jim Revis in the Karma ride here this evening. A throwback paint scheme, another old paint scheme here for the DWR iRacing iFlag JRE machine, as Revis out in front of Tyler Jackson, who will now slide into position number 3 on the Speedway, and that's a big spot, as I do believe. Let's double check. Top 3 advance straight in to our A main feature event. So you want to be top 3 here in these heat races. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you got to go to a consolation race and perhaps risk not making it in to our A main feature event. You want to punch your ticket straight on through. You don't want to be in that B main or the C main, depending on how many rides we have here this evening. We may take all the drivers. There may be drivers going home here tonight, as Dustin Benton out in front continues to lead the way, continues to try to stretch out this race lead. 0.8 of a second and about 8 car lengths now between this 34 ride is the Precision Auto Bodies. Throttle Down Motorsports WP Creative Designs, the racing for Randy number 34 is going to click off another lap. Jim Revis trying to hang on to position number 2, trying to stay out of that hot seat, as the number 8 of Tyler Jackson trying to jump up into that second spot, trying to move himself a little closer to the front of the field. We'll have to wait and see if he can make this pass. The bottom lane working very well, but that middle lane starting to come in nicely. In the 8 ride, finding that lane, and he's going to be able to make that pass. So move Tyler Jackson now into position number 2. That's going to move Jim Revis into the hot seat. Now he goes up high here in corner number 1 and 2. That'll open the door for Jacob Sexton. Down the back straightaway, a little contact there into corner number 3. That's going to shove the 57 up the Speedway again. Revis goes from second to fourth here and now outside of a transfer spot on the Speedway. That's how quickly things can happen here at Oswego Speedway. And unfortunately for Jim Revis, opening that door and allowing Jacob Sexton to get underneath of him moves the 2020 ride into a transfer spot here in heat race number 1. Revis trying to hunt him back down as the 48 rider Justin Blazier back there in position number 5, and Philip Sexton, unfortunately, he's about 4 seconds back behind these guys, trying to reel them in. Unfortunately, he may run out of time before the end of this heat race to be even able to catch the backpack here and try to catch that 48 rider Justin Blazier for the 5th position as Dustin Benton down across the line will click off another lap, and you see that lead starting to dwindle here a little bit more and a little bit more. T-Jack hunting him down here has closed that gap about halfway here, is only about 3/10 of a second. Now between Dustin Benton and Tyler Jackson, it's down and out of corner number 4. We'll see that white flag fly. So one more time around here for Dustin Benton as the Big D machine at the front of the field looking to try to pick up heat race win number 1. Tyler Jackson looking to try to take it away from him. Sends it in deep down into corner number 3, but can't find an open door down low to try to shove that number 8 ride to the front of the field. And there we go, down across the line. Dustin Benton will pick up heat race number 1 as T-Jack gave it all he could there for position number 2, and Jacob Sexton moving up into that 3rd position on the Speedway. Unfortunately, Jim Revis, Justin Blazier, and Philip Sexton will all be going to our consolation race here this evening, as we will get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go. Heat race number 2. Gonna jump out onto the racetrack is starting on the pole in the number 20 ride on the Speedway. That is the DWR JRE iRacing iFlag, the Martin Sports ride. That is Chad Puderboda. His outside, that is the 2020 Gunky Floyd Consulting 5-6 Graphics Sexton Peyton Body Doghouse Chassis number 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton. Starting in position number 3 in the 57 ride, the DWR machine, the slinganddirt.com ride of Jeremy Akins into his outside in the 71. That is the Tommy Gun Customs machine of Joseph Pratt. And then we see the 41 of Eric L'Oreal back here in position number 5 and bringing up the rear of the field in the 45 ride. That is John Clavinger. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Clavinger. I feel like it's Clavinger, but I could be wrong. John, if I get your last name wrong, I do apologize, brother. I believe it's Clavinger, but who knows? It could be Cleavinger or who knows what. Who knows how he pronounces it? But hopefully he'll let us know here. As we're gonna say Cleavinger. Cleavinger. I feel like that's right. I don't know. We'll have to test the waters with that one. Hopefully we get it right. It's Tina Sexton. Tina coming in with the heart reaction here on the broadcast. So does it Jake Stefanski and Dave Morgan here in this one. Showing the big love with the heart reactions on the broadcast. Eric L'Oreal with the like on the stream, as well as we do see Mama Schuller, Vicky Schuller coming in showing the love as well. Says, yeah, DWR coming in showing the love for the DWR crew over there on YouTube, and says, let's go Chad. Cheered on Chad out there on the Speedway, hoping for Mr. Puderbo to put himself into a heat race win here this evening. As we'll get him stacked up, racked up, ready to go here. Door to door, down and out at corner number 4. The green flag back out into the air. An early fire there for that 20 ride. We'll have to hope and wait and see if that is a good, clean start for the 20 machine. May have fired a little bit early, but I think he was just taking that restart zone and using it to his advantage to make sure he gets a good jump on the rest of the field. And he's trying to put himself at the front here, trying to clear this 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton. It's Sexton right there taking a peek down low, does not get that door open. The 20 rider Puderbo will keep himself at the front of the field. Jeremy Sexton there in second and now trying to work himself up into position number 3. It's the 71 ride of Joseph Pratt. They are in position number 3 now on the Speedway as he will use the outside lane to work himself around that 57 of Jeremy Akins. Akins now on the outside of a transfer spot looking in. Here in heat race number 2 is John Cleavinger there in position position number 5 on the speedway, and Eric L'Oreal will bring up the rear of the field here in heat race number 2. As Chad Puderbo, the DWR machine, out in front, looking to kind of open up a bit of a lead here, give himself some breathing room between himself and the 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton. Is Sexton sitting right there within striking distance, right there, only about a car length between them as they head down into corner number 3. Still within striking distance here. One simple mistake, one slip up, one wrong lane choice, like we saw Jim Revis do in heat race number 1. We saw him unfortunately miss that middle groove here in 1 and 2, went to the high side. He lost about half a second on that lap just because of that issue, and that opened up the door for the 2020 ride at the time of Jacob Sexton to work himself around him, and that kind of put Jim unfortunately outside of a transfer spot. So we will see the 57 ride of Jim Revis in our consolation race, and right now that's exactly what everybody else is trying to avoid out here on the speedway. Jeremy Aikens there in the other DWR number 57 ride, rolling there in position number 4 here on the speedway. He's trying to work himself around the 71 of Joseph Pratt, hoping to see if he can work himself into one of these transfer spots in heat race number 2. There's a bit of a gap back. We do see that 45 ride of John Clevenger out there on the speedway, and Eric L'Oreal right there behind him, but out in front. It's a race here. You can throw a blanket over our top 4s. They're basically nose to tail out there on the speedway, and you can see that 2020 ride pushing Puderbo down into corner number 1 and almost out of corner number 2. He's still there right on the back bumper of this 20 machine. Puderbo trying to hang on to it, trying to keep this 2020 ride at bay as Jeremy Sexton trying to put himself to the front of the field. Gonna look for a big run, trying to get to the outside here of Puderbo. Now gonna send it in down low, door to door for the race lead here in heat race number 2. A great little slide job right there for Jeremy Sexton. We'll put him at the front of the field, but here comes Puderbo, gonna try to strike back down low through quarter number 3 and 4. Unfortunately, cannot get that door open, and he is at risk of sliding back to 3rd as here comes the 71 of Joseph Pratt. Pratt right there all around the outside here, following right in the tire tracks of that 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton. And Sexton is able to take that race lead away. We do see Chad Puderbo unfortunately slide back now to position number 3, and he better be careful because here comes Jeremy Aikens. Aikens right there ready to work himself into one of these transfer positions on the speedway. He's testing the waters here, going a little bit higher and a little bit higher down through 1 and 2, and it's allowing him to get these very big runs down the straightaways and reel these drivers in right there in front of him. Gives him a little time through 3 and 4 here, but can get a great run out of 1 and 2, and he gets right there to the back bumper of that 20 ride. He may have to make a move as the white flag has been displayed, so only one more time around. Jeremy Sexton will lead us down into corner number 3. He'll protect that slide job lane. He'll go up the racetrack and try to throw a little bit of a block over the 71 of Joseph Pratt as Jeremy Sexton will pick up heat race win number 2. Joseph Pratt there in second, and Chad Puderbo is going to hang on for that 3rd and final transfer position here in heat race number 2, meaning Jeremy Aikens, John Clevenger, and Eric L'Oreal will unfortunately all be going to our consolation race, as now we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. Heat race number 3 gonna roll out onto the speedway here. Heat race number 3 about to get underway is Jacob Sexton. Jacob coming in, showing the big love here with the heart reaction on the broadcast chat for Friesner. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Friesner. I'm probably getting that completely wrong. Jennifer. I do apologize for that. Hopefully it was close-ish, but Jennifer coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream as Mama Bear says, come on, Bryce Dickinson cheering on Brycey Bear out there on the speedway. Dave Morgan cheering on the Sextons as well, says, let's go Sextons out there on the speedway. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. Heat race number 3. About to roll out onto the speedway, and starting on the pole in the number 84, it is the Papa Mike Promotions Peacemaker Racing Team E&D Farms number 84 ride, the Mama Bear Sweet Tea Gang Machine of Bryce Dickinson. to his outside in the 07 ride. The Cheater Inc. machine is the ride of Tyler Brickford down on the inside of row number 2. In the 21C is the 618 engraving E&D Farms Peacemaker Racing Team number 21C. The Papa Mike Promotions ride will start there in position number 3, and to his outside you'll have that 76 of Brandon Van Houten. Starting in position number 5 on the speedway is the 2 ride. That is Ty Ralph, and bringing up the rear of the field in the Dirt Panda, Malum Electric, Wild Bill's Race Designs, the Dirt Panda Viv's Liquor ride of William Hargraves. We'll start back here in that 6th spot on the speedway. 6 more drivers, 3 more transfer spots here from Oswego Speedway up for grabs, and quickly the E&D Farms Papa Mike Promotions ride of Bryce Dickinson will jump out in front here, slide up in front of that 07 ride of Tyler Brickford. Brickford trying to get hooked up here in that ride as here comes Charles Barnes. Barnes looking to slide himself up and into position number 2, almost got a piece of the inside wall, can't clear the 07 as here comes Brickford storming back on the outside. He's the 21C is going to send it in deep again here as Barnes trying to clear that 07 ride. Still hasn't been able to get the run he needed to make this move to get around the 07 machine as Brickford stays in that outside lane, just really playing a hassle. Here you go, the slide job out of the 21C. Barnes up the track, the 07 with the crossover. Down across the line, Brickford staying in position number 2. Now going to go for a big slide job there himself. A little contact, and here comes Brandon Van Houten. Van Houten right there ready to strike as the 07 will clear. Charles Barnes can stay in position number 2. Barnes back there to 3rd. Ty Ralph in the 2 ride, moving up a spot here early in this heat race as he's worked himself around Brandon Van Houten. Van Houten slides back to position number 5 on the speedway, but here comes the 71H Hargraves looking for a big run down through 1 and 2. Unfortunately, got a piece of that inside wall on quarter exit, and that really killed his momentum, and Hargraves suck a little farther back here in position number 6. It is tough sledding, and it is tough to make some passes stick out there on the racetrack, as right now it's a little bit of a middle side lockdown track here for the Oswego Speedway competitors here, but you do see Charles Barnes trying to find something here. He's running that car very, very hard here, trying to work himself into position number 2 as here comes Ty Ralph. Ty Ralph now taking a look underneath of Tyler Brickford for position number 3, and that's exactly what Charles Barnes really needed as he tries to reel in his teammate Bryce Dickinson as apparently E&D Farms Papa Mike Promotion rides right there at the front of the field. You do see Ty Ralph go for the big slide job there through 3 and 4. The crossover of the 07. A great battle here for position number 3 on the speedway. Ty looking for a big run down the back straightaway. Going to cross back underneath that 07 ride. Thinks better of it. Now going to try to go to the high side. Bit of a block there out of that 07 of Tyler Brickford. As Brickford, I think he was going to try to protect that slide job lane. Saw that the 2 ride was going to choose the outside, and he went up to the outside lane there and took that line away from him as Ty Ralph looking for an opening, trying to put himself into a transfer spot here in his first heat race with the Friday Night Lights as he works down low on that 07. Tyler Brickford trying to stay right there in position number 3 as Brandon Van Houten and the 71H of William Hargraves still trying to work himself up and through the field here. Hargraves trying to run nice and clean, not wanting to throw any big slide jumps at this point of the race as he's rolling back here in that 6th position, trying to get around Brandon Van Houten. Van Houten trying to hang on to position number 5 here on the speedway as we see a bit of a battle here at the front of the field. Bryce Dickinson, Charles Barnes almost door to door here at the front of the field here as we head down the back straightaway. Barnes, Dickinson out there on the track. Teammates running 1 and 2 on the speedway. Got a couple car lengths between themselves and Brickford as another good run down and out of quarter number 4 is down across the line. We will see the penultimate lap here for Bryce Dickinson as he looks to pick up heat race win number 3 on the evening, trying to hold off that 21C of Charles Barnes. They head down the back straightaway. Into corner number 3, you see Brickford and Tyrell still battling hard. Back here for position number 3 is the 2 ride all over the back bumper of that 07 as the white flag has been displayed. So the final lap here in heat race number 3. This will bring a close to our heat race action. We'll jump right into our consolation race as Bryce Dickinson into corner number 3. You see the 21 looking for a big run. Unfortunately, gets a piece of the inside wall. He's going to lose a lot of momentum as Bryce Dickinson will pick up heat race win number 3 here on the evening. Charles Barnes there in second. Tyler Brinkford coming home in that third and final transfer spot. Ty Ralph back there in position number 4. Then we saw William Hargraves and Brandon Van Houten rounding out our field there in our third and final heat race of the evening. And now we'll get ready for our consolation race. Now I do believe everybody will make it in. Yes, we do get a good look right there. 9 drivers will start this consolation race, and 9 drivers will transfer through to our A main feature event. So what this is going to do is set the lineup for everybody outside the top 9 here in our A main feature event. So if you can pick up this consolation race win, if you can find your way into victory lane here in this B main, you will start in the 10th position in our feature event. If you finish last here in this consolation race, you will start at the rear of the field for our A main feature event. So not a lot on the line, no extra points, no nothing except for some bragging rights and a little bit of practice to work on your car, work on your craft, and try to figure out this racetrack. And at the same point in time, can help yourself out here. If you're starting deep in the field here in this B main, if you can work yourself a little closer to the front of the pack, you can potentially start a lot closer to the front of the field for our A main feature event and make your day a little bit easier here as Jim Revis in the Karma iRacing iFlag DWR JRE machine will start in that pole position to his outside. The DWR number 57, the other 57, that is Jeremy Ankins there in position number 2. Ty Ralph there in position number 3 with Justin Blazier there to his outside in position number 4. Then we see the 45 ride of John Clevenger there in position number 5 with William Hargraves to his outside there in position number 6. The 2020 of Philip Sexton, the Tommy Gun Customs 2020 ride will start there in 7th with Eric L'Oreal to his outside and Brandon Van Houten to bring up the rear of the field here in our consolation race. Our B main about to get underway is down out at quarter number 4. We will see the green flag fly for Jim Revis as the Karma ride quickly onto the loud pedal here, jumping straight up into that middle lane. He saw how they ran it here in the second and third heat race. He knows what he has to do, and that's just trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay, stay out in front and roll this middle line to perfection. But what he's got to be careful of is that middle line can start to fade away. You got to keep up with the changes of the racetrack. The high side may push up closer and closer to the outside walls. We see them getting up there already in corner number 1 and 2, so you got to be very careful about where you anchor here in quarter number 3. If this racetrack continues to widen out more and more and more, we're going to see these drivers running up against that outside fence, and you're going to see them tail-tagging that wall ever so slightly in the middle of the corners, especially right about here on the speedway in quarter 1 and 2. That is a very dangerous spot. We may see a lot of drivers once this track slicks off getting into issues up there in the middle of quarter 1 and 2. As Jim Revis leads the way, the 2 rider Ty Ralph trying to track him down. Jeremy Ankins back there in third as William Hargraves making a couple early moves. Now has the 71 ride into position number 4 and looking for more out there on the speedway. The 48 of Justin Blazier there in 5th, and now it's the 2020 ride of Philip Sexton up and into position number 6. Brandon Van Houten making a couple early moves. Now has that 76 ride into position number 7 here on the speedway, working to the outside of the Doghouse Racing number 2020 ride as John Clevenger and Eric L'Oreal bringing up the rear of the field here in this consolation race. But it's all Jim Revis as Revis at the front of the field looking to try to put on a show, looking to try to pick up this consolation race win here this evening and set himself up for what could be a big night here at Oswego Speedway. Mama Bear also cheered on Charles Barnes there in that third heat race of the evening. And we see Lori says, let's go. Brandon cheered on Mr. Van Houten out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, not the heat race he was looking for, but able to make a couple passes here in this consolation race, knowing that it's going to help him out when it comes to our A-main feature event. And right there, you get a great look at it. The 57 rider, Jeremy Akins, up and into the outside wall there in corner number 1 and 2. And here you go, a slide jump at the front of the field. A big slide jump for Ralph. Ralph will pick up the race lead, but down across the line, Jim Revis will take it back away. So Revis will stay out in front. Is now some contact there for the 2 ride in the middle of corner 1 and 2. We told you that was going to be a danger spot for a lot of these drivers, and unfortunately for the 2 ride, he's found it already. Bounces it just ever so slightly there off the outside fence in 3 and 4. As this racetrack really starting to come in, really starting to get a little bit more racy out there on the speedway, and that is a very dangerous spot. Right there is the 2 ride. That time decides to cut down underneath of it ever so slightly. Gets a great run though down and out at corner number 2, so maybe a new line here for that 2 ride as he goes for another slide jump back around Jim Revis. Ralph looking for the B-main win in his first Friday Night Lights race here on the season, as he's gonna roll up into 1 and 2 again. Gets up into the outside fence. He was able to take that race lead away from Jim Revis, and then he gives it right back down through 1 and 2. Hopefully no right front damage for the Wreck-It Ralph number 2 machine out there on the speedway. As Jeremy Aiken trying to work himself down and underneath him. Here comes Philip Sexton and William Hargraves as well, as they've worked themselves inside the top 5 and trying to work themselves closer and closer to the front of the field. Brandon Van Houten back there in the 6th position as Justin Blazier slides back to position number 7. John Clevenger back there in the 8th spot, and Eric L'Oreal will bring up the rear of the field in that baby blue number 41 machine. Jim Revis though at the front of the pack here, showing these drivers how to get it done, continuing to lead the way here in this one. I don't know what just happened there with there we go. Facebook just messed up there for me real quick. Looks like it's good. So Jim Revis out in front, continuing to lead the way. Tyrell back there in second. You see that car hurting a little bit as he's now given up quite a bit of time here, almost 0.8 of a second between himself and the 57 of Jim Revis. Hargraves there in position number 3 now. Has worked himself up already 3 spots. Philip Sexton trying to follow him right on through as the Tommy Gun Customs ride looking underneath of Jeremy Akins for position number 4 on the speedway. Brandon Van Houten up 3 spots as well. Back here in position number 6 is Justin Blazier. John Clevenger and Eric L'Oreal bringing up the rear of the field, but it's all Jim Revis here in this one. As the penultimate lap is about to come to a close, down at our corner number 4, we'll see that white flag fly here at Oswego Speedway in our B-main consolation race, where every one of these drivers will still work themselves into the A-main feature event. So nothing but bragging lot rights and starting positions here on the line for the Friday Night Lights B-main action is down through quarter number 3 and out at quarter number 4. The DWR iRacing iFlag 57 ride of Jim Revis will pick up this B-main win here this evening. So he is going to pick up that B-main. He will start in the 10th position here this evening for our A-main feature event with Tyrell, Hargraves, Jeremy Akins, Philip Sexton, and everybody else there in that B-main, making it in to our A-main feature event as these drivers are going to get ready to rock and roll here in this one. An absolutely amazing show. You just saw how racy and how intense it was out there on the speedway for our B-main. Our B-main brought that much action, brought that much fun for all of us to watch and enjoy here on the evening, and our A-main is going to bring even more of that. It's going to build the intensity. It's going to get more and more interesting to see these drivers duke it out there on the speedway. we're going to get ready to rock and roll here in just a few more moments. Drivers jumping out onto the racetrack here. A quick warm-up session to make sure they work on their cars. And right now, they're going to be working in this racetrack even more, which is going to make it that much more difficult for our main feature event. It's really going to work this track in, and these drivers are going to have to get prepared for what could be a very wild feature event here this evening. So each and every one of them jumping out onto the racetrack, making sure their cars are absolutely in pristine condition, making sure they got the right setups in, making sure they got the right, steering settings and everything else, as they want to make sure that they do not mess anything up. You almost need to be perfect out there on the speedway, lap after lap after lap. You can't have, very many mistakes, or at least any major mistakes here in the feature event if you want to try to have a shot at putting yourself into victory lane here this evening at Oswego Speedway. Jared Johnson coming in showing the love. What's good, Jared? Jared says, there's my favorite dirt announcer. How is Peacemaker Gaming doing today? How is everyone? Jared, my boy, man, I am doing well. I am always doing good, brother, as we're up here in the booth. We're spicing things up. We're mixing things up, and we're always doing good, brother. As Mama Bear says, hell yes, the Pricey Bear picking up a heat race win there, and Charles Barnes right there behind him. Is Just Viv says, look at Revis, all fancy and fast. Good job. Yes, Just Viv, he's definitely looking fancy and fast out there on the speedway. Papa Mike says, proud of my Papa Mike car. Show him how it's done. Yes, sir. I'm sure we're going to see Charles Barnes and Bryce Dickinson put on an absolutely amazing show here this evening, working themselves up and through the field here and battling with all these drivers at the front of the pack throughout this feature event. It's going to be very interesting to see who is going to be able to put themselves into victory lane here this evening. Is Papa Mike coming in, showing the love with the heart reaction here on the broadcast. Albert Anderson with the like on the stream, as well as Jared Johnson coming in with that like on the stream as well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't go anywhere, as you don't want to miss out on the action. As I'm going to get a quick drink into me, and then we're going to jump right in to our main feature event. So don't go anywhere, as you do not want to miss anything. We're going to crank it up here during this practice session, and we're going to get ready for our main feature event here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't go anywhere, because you do not want to miss out on all the amazing action that's about to come right at you.
Engine roars, dirt fires, dust in my eyes. Adrenaline hits fast, life blurs spinning past. Bleachers packed, cheering low, revving engines proud. Under lights we race, feel the earth's embrace. Friday night, fight the night, tires body gripping tight. Victory slipping sights, under the lights we ignite. Burning rubber speed thrills, blood cold, my spine chills. Raging hearts, dark nights, racers chasing lights. Spinning out, crash, you crawl, life on the edge, one call. Rectify the fall, under the lights stand tall. Friday night, fight the night, tires body gripping tight. Victory slipping sights, under the lights we ignite. Burning rubber speed thrills, blood cold, my spine chills.
Alrighty, ladies, the these drivers get ready to rock and roll here this evening. Give it up for our brand new song here for the Friday Night Lights. It's called Under the Lights, made by Peacemaker Gaming himself here this evening as we get ready to rock and roll. We get ready to set the scene for our A-Main feature event. Our A-Main is about to get underway. These drivers are getting ready to rock and roll, and they're onto the speedways. We'll set them up, and we'll get ready to set them loose here this evening. As this is not the crank it up, we will get ready to set up the stage here for you on the night. As starting on the pole in the number 34 ride, that is the Big D machine of Dustin Benton, the Big D, starting here in that top spot this evening. The Throttle Down Motorsports Precision Auto Bodies WB Creative Designs ride there in the pole position. To his outside in the 5.6 graphics, Sexton Paint and Body. Cocky Floyd Consulting Doghouse Chassis number 2020 ride is Jeremy Sexton, starting there in position number 2. Starting in the third spot, the 618 Engraving Papa Mike Promotions E&D Farms. The Peacemaker Racing Team number 84 of Bryce Dickinson will start there in third. To his outside in the number 8 ride, it is the Alpha Shark, the Black Diamond Mafia Majula Speed Shop ride of Tyler Jackson there in the 4th position. Starting in position number 5, the Tommy Gun Customs number 71 of Joseph Pratt. And his outside, the E&D Farms Papa Mike Promotions number 21C of Charles Barnes. And then we see the 2020 of Jacob Sexton in that Doghouse Chassis. Sexton Paint and Body, Cocky Floyd Consulting 2020 ride there in the 7th position. Champ Peterbolt in the 20 ride, the iRacing iFlag DWR JRE machine, the Martin Sports ride will start there in 8th. And then we see the 07 of Tyler Brickford and Jim Revis in the DWR iRacing iFlag number 57, rounding out our top 10. Ty Ralph, William Hargraves, Philip Saxton, Jeremy Akins, Justin Blazier, and Brandon Van Houten rounding out our top 8 rows on the speedway. Eric L'Oreal will start back in 17th, and John Clevenger will bring up the rear of the field. Unfortunately for the 45, he will start down pit side as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation here from Oswego Speedway. The 34 of Dustin Benton will see that green flag fly, and he quickly leads us down in through quarter 1 and out at quarter number 2. He'll take us down the back straightaway here all by himself as he's able to clear the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton. Sexton and Bryce Dickinson make contact. Up and into the fence goes Jeremy Sexton. He's able to get that car pointed back in the right direction as everybody's trying to figure out a way to get back and around this 20 ride. Is not the way Sexton wanted things to go, and now he's up into the outside fence. Upside down goes Ty Ralph. Ralph is on his lid. The red flag on the speedway here in our A-Main feature event. Ralph is taking that car straight down pit side as the caution flag will fly for the first time here this evening. Is the action coming right at you here in the opening laps of the evening. Heavy damage for Chap Peterbolt and a lot of other tough competitors here this evening. Ralph really nowhere to go as unfortunately Jeremy Sexton already with that damage. Let's take it back and take a look at the contact here between himself and the 84 of Bryce Dickinson. They roll door to door down into quarter number 1. Now I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like the number 2020 may have came down just a little bit here, expecting this 84 ride to be a little tighter to that inside wall. And unfortunately, I do believe they make a little bit of contact right here. And this sends that 2020 ride up the racetrack right there. Oh, Bryce just, they just ran out of room right here. Both drivers not wanting to give each other a whole lot of room. They make a little bit of contact right there. Doesn't really affect the 2020 ride, but right here, you see the 84 Bryce Dickinson just run out of room down low, gets into the inside fence, unfortunately comes up into that 2020 ride. In that sense, Jeremy Sexton up into the outside fence here in corner 3 and 4. Then everybody trying to scatter, trying to figure out a way to get back and around this 2020 ride. Then watch them down into corner number 1 and 2, pounces up into the outside fence. Nowhere to go for Peterbolt, nowhere to go for Jim Revis. Brandon Van Houten getting a piece of that one. We did see the 57 of Jeremy Akins also getting some contact right there as well. Let's see if we can jump on board here with this number 2 ride of Ty Ralph. Is Ralph just really nowhere for him to go, trying to roll here just outside the top 10, and then all of a sudden action right in front of him, and this is not the way you want your first Friday Night Lights race to get underway. And unfortunately for the 2 ride, he takes that car straight down pit side as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. Delaware file restarts. The 34 of Dustin Benton out in front. He will start here all by his lonesome on the front row, as the second row is all Peacemaker Racing Team, Papa Mike Promotions, E&D Farm Rides, as Bryce Dickinson and Charles Barnes there in second and third. The 71 ride trying to break up the party there for the 2 E&D Farm Rides here, as the 71 of Joseph Pratt trying to work himself up and into position number 3, and here comes William Hargraves. Hargraves already up 7 positions on the speedway. He was able to avoid a lot of that contact and chaos down through quarter 1 and 2, and he's able to bounce on the opportunity and work himself up and inside the top 5. Now looking for the 4th position as he works underneath the 71 of Joseph Pratt. See the 8 rider Tyler Jackson, T-Jack, maybe playing this one a little bit smart here on the evening. Has slid back now outside the top 5 into that 6th position, but he knows this is a very, very long race. There's so much that's going to happen here throughout this feature event, and he just trying to make sure that he can keep these tires underneath of him, and that's exactly the game plan we've seen out of this 8 ride before. Take it a little bit easy. Start of this race, kind of roll around the bottom of the racetrack, maybe the high side, try to save these tires, not push the car too much, and have some extra grip and extra traction later on in the race, especially when this track really starts to slick off and we see these drivers sliding all around the speedway. If he can have that extra little bit of grip, he may be the fastest car on the speedway here, as that is definitely going to be a game plan here out of a lot of these drivers this evening, as this place is going to get very, very slick, and it's going to get very tough for drivers to keep themselves pointed in the right direction. As Dustin Benton continues to lead the way, the Throttle Down Motorsports WP Creative Designs racing for Randy Precision Auto Bodies Dirt Clash Super Street Series. Number 34 is at the front of the field, as now we see Charles Barnes up into position number 2. Hargraves looking for 3rd now as he works to the inside still of Joseph Pratt. Unfortunately, we do see Bryce Dickinson now sliding outside the top 5. Maybe a little bit of damage here on that 84 ride. Did not come down pit side after that contact with the inside wall and the 2020 of Jeremy Akins, and unfortunately that damage really hurt a lot of these competitors. We see Jim Revis unfortunately sliding back now into that 12th position. We see Jeremy Akins right there with him. We do see Ty Ralph back here in the 17th position, still trying to get this car to keep on rolling in the straight line, and we do see the 20 ride there as well. Chad Puderbo, who started the way forward in this race, started up in the 8th position, now finds himself back here in the 15th spot on the speedway. So that hurt a lot of drivers, including that number 2020 ride, as Jeremy Sexton back here trying to rebound, trying to work himself back up and through the field after that early race contact and getting collected in that first caution flag of the evening. The 5-6 graphics Cocky Floyd Consulting 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton trying to work himself back inside the top 10, has Brandon Van Houten right there in front of him, and then we see a couple more Sextons trying to work their way through the field as Philip Sexton, Jacob Sexton there in the 9th and 8th position on the speedway. They got Tyler Brickford right there in front of them. Bryce Dickinson there in 6th. You see that left front damage possibly very affecting this 84 ride as he is sliding backwards still and falling quite far away now from our top 5. As Tyler Jackson there in that 5th position, as Joseph Pratt right in front of him. Then we see William Hargraves trying to work down low and underneath the 21C of Charles Barnes. Barnes trying to stay hooked up here on the high side, looking for a big run here down the straightaways as they go door to door here once again down across the start finish line. But out in front, right from the drop of the green flag, he has been the driver to beat all evening long. It's the 34 of Dustin Benton, looking to be the reflection of perfection here this evening, trying to keep this race lead, trying to keep that car locked down right right in the good stuff on the bottom side of the speedway. Very tight to the inside wall, trying to keep that left front from digging into it, trying to keep yourself out of trouble and making sure you close any door for any big runs from drivers back there behind you. But right now, the 21C of Charles Barnes trying to run some different lines. Now you see the 71. Saw a little bit of an opening right there, took a different angle, trying to take that inside lane away from the 34 of Dustin Benton. Benton was able to kind of get back down there, though, and close that door. The 71 had to roll out of the throttle. That's going to slide him back to position number 3 as Charles Barnes able to use that big run on the outside lane to take back that second spot on the speedway. Joseph Pratt right there in position number 4. He is ready to party because he is looking for more out there on the speedway, looking to try to jump up inside the top 3 here on the racetrack. As the Tommy Gunn Customs ride looking fresh out there on the speedway. Very beautiful green and lime yellowish color looking ride. Looks very, very able to stand out here, as we do have a few drivers with the, identical numbers out there. We got a lot of the 2020 rides of the Sextons, and you throw the extra 20 in there of Mr. Chad Puderbo, and then we get the pair of 71s out there as well of William Hargraves and the Tommy Gunn ride of Joseph Pratt there at the front of the field. And, it makes our job a little bit tough up here, but we're pretty used to it, man. We've seen these guys duke it out in battle and race together a lot of laps and a lot of times in a lot of different series, so it's cool to see all of them back out here having some fun, enjoying the racing action here on the Friday Night Lights. As you do see that 21C of Charles Barnes still trying to find something in the outside lane. He's able to hang out there, just not able to get any forward drive here. He hasn't been able to make up any ground using this high side lane. Now what this could be really doing is, well, one, potentially get him into the outside fence and lose time, but also could potentially be burning up these tires a little bit more than those drivers that are rolling the inside lane, as they're kind of easing off the throttle, kind of rolling through the center of the corner, where the 21C is on the throttle a lot more than those drivers down low. He's trying to roll this corner, trying to run as much speed as possible to get these big runs down the straightaways. We're down low, you're kind of just rolling, you're cruising a little bit, especially through the apex, and trying to not burn up those tires on the speedway. So this could potentially be a long-term risk for that 21C of Charles Barnes, as he's now trying to hang on to that third spot as Joseph Pratt right there underneath of him. That 71 ride, the pair of 71s trying to work themselves to the front of the field. But right now, the hard charger is that 71 of William Hargraves, the Dirt Panda, Malamo Electric, the Wild Bills Race Designs, Viv's Liquor, number 71H of Hargraves up into position number 2 on the speedway, and that puts him up 10 spots from where he started. Hargraves started all the way back in the 11th position and now finds himself up 10 spots here in position number 2. But you do see that 21C of Charles Barnes starting to storm back here on the outside lane. As Papa Mike says he's cheering on the 84, the 21C. As Josh Bibb says, William has a hidden talent to go from back of the pack to clear up front in no time. Yeah, he has that hidden. I don't know if it's much of a hidden talent anymore. We've seen it time and time again with that 71 ride of Hargraves to be able to work himself to the front of the field, especially in a quick concession out there. As my dad, Ben Bebo, coming in, showing the love here in this one, says, hello, Dad. How are you tonight? How you doing here this evening? As Logan Schmidt here as well says, I have a feeling top is gonna get rolled in good for him. That is quite the possibility right now. Not much biting up there for that 21C, but anything can happen, and this track can change in a quick hurry, as we see caution flag at number 2 gonna fly out there on the speedway. I do believe the 41 ride here of Eric L'Oreal gonna run into some issues. Him the 2 ride, Ralph battling here a little deeper in the field. The 41 gets in there a little bit deeper, but we already see a few drivers turned around. So the 2 ride and the 41 just trying to get through there, as it looks like Bryce Dickinson and Philip Sexton are the 2 drivers that get the party started here for caution flag number 2 this evening, as the 84 down into corner number 1 just unfortunately gets punted in there ever so slightly, as Philip Sexton just going to come in with a lot of extra speed right here. And unfortunately, as he does, he comes in, takes the back end of the 84, and just sends him in with a ton of speed, jacks up that rear end ever so slightly. He loses grip. He's going to go around down through the slick stuff. He locks it up, as unfortunately The Mad Dog himself gets into that 84 ride. Now you're going to see the other 2020 ride here. I do believe that is Jeremy Sexton or Jacob Sexton getting collected in that one. That is Jacob Sexton also going to get a piece of that. The 76 of Brandon Van Houten getting in there as well. And you're going to see everyone else trying to slide on through here. Unfortunately, everyone does not make it through as clean as quite a bit of damage there for the 84 and that 2020 ride. We'll get them all ready to rock and roll here once again from Oswego Speedway is out in front. Dustin Benton looking to be the reflection of perfection here this evening as he has led every single green flag lap so far. But right there behind him, chasing his tail, is William Hargraves, Charles Barnes, Joseph Pratt, Tyler Jackson, Tyler Brinkford, Jeremy Sexton, Brandon Van Houten, Jeremy Akins, and Jim Revis now rounding out our top 10 as we go back to green flag racing here at Oswego Speedway. Is down across the line. We see lap 24 jump up onto the board as it's Snake coming in, showing the love as well over there on the Twitch broadcast. How are you, it's Snake? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day. As Ben Beagle says, your mom and I say hi. Hello, Mom. Hello, Dad. How are you today? How you doing? Hopefully you guys are having yourselves a wonderful evening. Is down and across the line. We see the cross flags from our flag man. Halfway in and halfway to go here in this A main feature event, and it's been the Big D, Dustin Benton, out in front here all evening long, but right there behind him, been right there chasing him down lap after lap, continuing to put the pressure onto his back bumper. The Big D, though, has not made any mistakes. He's been able to keep himself out of trouble, keep that car pinned right down on the inside lane, just taking all the fun out of it for everybody else back there behind him as they're trying to get up here and lead a lap themselves, and we may see it right here. Oh man, the 71 ride of Hargraves takes such a shallow entry into corner number 3, and man, oh man, oh man, I thought he was either going to get a piece of that 34 rider, he was going to open the door to try to steal that inside lane away from Dustin out there on the speedway. You see Charles Barr still trying to work that outside lane. He's still trying to get that to really roll in and become that dominant line and be the car closest to the front of the field, rolling that outside lane. If it really does come in, it could take a couple laps. It could take only one set of corners for him to jump up and take this race lead away. As now you do see the 34. Dustin Benton gets up off the bottom there ever so slightly. The Big D may be looking to try to change a little bit of a lane here. He may want to start rolling more of the middle and not just that bottom lane. But Hargraves is right there, putting that pressure on him, making it so that he can't really get down there. But he's going to jump up, clear that 21. See a Charles Barnes throw a big block on him. And here you go. The door's open. Contact between our race leaders. 3 wide down the back straightaway. And look who it is. The 21C of Charles Barnes looking to take this race lead away is down and out at corner number 4. There'll be 3 wide once again down across the line here at Oswego Speedway. It was Charles Barnes jumping up and leading that lap. It's a slide job out of the 34 right in. Here comes Hargraves. Hargraves down low is 3 wide battling here at Oswego Speedway for the Friday Night Lights, powered by the Dirt Clash Super Street Series. Hargraves down low is going to clear him here, and he will lead another lap as William Hargraves to the front of the field. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we should have made you guys pay entry fee here this evening. Admission fees should be through the roof, as what a show we are watching here this evening. These guys are putting on one heck of a battle at the front of the field. These guys are putting on a show, and this one could be a storybook finish for William Hargraves. Now up 11 spots on the speedway, looking to be the hard charger and looking to be the first driver across the start-finish line and picking up another checkered flag here in these dirt street stocks. As Charles Barnes now up into second here, as you do see Tyler Jackson, the Alpha Shark himself, trying to work himself now around Dustin Benton. They're banging fenders here, elbows up, racing back here for position number 3. Big D, Dustin Benton, unfortunately He saw a slew of cars get around him there in a quick hurry. After leading about the first 30 laps of this race, they started to pour it on for that 34 ride, and he is still under attack. He is still under fire as drivers trying to figure out a way to get back around him, as he's trying to figure out a way to try to pull away from him and try to go back to work underneath this 21C of Charles Barnes. Barnes going to continue to roll that outside lane, as you do see the 34 jumping right back down low. He's going to try to roll that inside lane, and he's got to be careful, as we already saw William Hargraves force the issue and get around him on that bottom lane. Tyler Jackson was right there watching that happen. He may have seen something. He may have to try something different, though, as the Big D may not want to see that happen again. He may go on solid defense here to make sure the 8 ride cannot do exactly what the 71 ride of William Hargraves did, and let's throw it in there. Use the bumper a little bit to open up the door, in, as Hargraves, since getting that race lead, has pulled away from the rest of the field. The fastest car out there on the speedways. Everyone else back there battling for that second, third, fourth, fifth position on the speedway. Hargraves out to a 1.3 second lead. Now, Charles Barnes going to jump down low here, down on the bottom side of 3 and 4. So Hargraves maybe in trouble here. The 21C, maybe he knows something different than we do. Maybe he's going to try to roll this inside groove. Maybe he'll be able to find the line. Maybe he'll have an extra little bit of tire and an extra little bit of grip here to maybe hunt down our race leader. Or maybe he'll go on defense and really throw a wrench into the plans for all these drivers back here behind the 21C. As you see these two battling once again, you see the 8 ride leaning on the 34 of Dustin Benton. Benton not wanting to give up that inside lane, but the 8 ride of Tyler Jackson wants to take it away here, and he has gotten the positioning, and he is working down low, trying to figure out a way to clear this 34 line. Dustin not giving him any room down low, though, really making it so that the 8 ride cannot get a good run off of the corner exit. Now you do see Tyler Jackson go for the big slide job down in corner number 1 and 2. He will clear that 34 ride, but the Big D gonna try to storm back down low here in 3 and 4. He cannot get that door open too much here, as here you go, the 8 ride. And Dustin Benton put on a great battle for position number 3 on the speedway. Joseph Pratt looking to jump into that fun here as he rolls in that 5th position. Then we see Jeremy Sexton making a great rebound after going around early in this race in the 2020 ride. Has himself back in the 6th position with Tyler Brickford, Philip Sexton, Brandon Van Houten, and Ty Ralph after being upside down early in this race. The 2 ride finds himself up and inside the top 10 on the speedway. Jeremy Akins there in 11th, Bryce Dickinson there in 12th, Chad Puderbo back there in the 13th spot with Justin Blazier, Jim Revis, Jacob Sexton, Eric L'Oreal, and John Clevenger bringing up the rear of the field. But at the front of the field, it's all William Hargraves. Hargraves stretching out that lead more and more. He's out in front here by over 2 seconds. Now between himself and Charles Barnes. As Barnes still hanging on to position number 2, we do see Tyler Jackson and Dustin Benton continue to battle door to door here for position number 3 on the speedway in the battle for the 5th spot. Starting to heat up as well. As Joseph Pratt up on the high side. Here comes the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton. Down low as Sexton looking to work himself back up inside the top 5 here on the speedway, as the laps are counting down here in a quick hurry. Only 8 more laps left to go. 8 more laps here this evening for William Hargraves to try to put himself in a Big Bacon Gaming. Big Bacon coming in, showing the love here in this one with the like on the stream and the raid as well coming in, sending all of his viewers over here to join the stream. Big Bacon, I appreciate that, brother, coming in, showing the big love here in this one. Casey, I hope you're having yourself a wonderful night, and I hope you had yourself a wonderful stream. And to any of the new viewers, welcome in. Enjoy the show. This is going to be a lot of fun, as we got 7 more laps left to go here in this one. 6 more as Hargraves, our race leader, heads down across the start-finish line. Barnes, 2.5 seconds back here as Hargraves running away with it. Barnes is trying to run away with second as Jeremy Sexton now working himself up into 3rd. So what looked to be a rough night here for the 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton. Jeremy is now able to work himself back up into 3rd, but we do see the caution flag fly, and it's our early race leader, the Big D machine, Dustin Benton, getting possibly around here in this one. We'll take a look and see what happens as the Big D, Dustin Benton down low, already missing that front bumper after some hard contact here. And, I'm not sure if him and the 8 ride, let's take a look at it here. Looks like him and there a little bit of wheel rub between the two of them, and you see how it just launches both of these cars up into the air right here, and it really hurts them as they head into the corner. Look at the 34 jumping up into the air. Same with the 8 ride. You see the Big D machine trying to get this car to turn back down the racetrack. The 2020 getting onto the binders there, unfortunately for Dustin, though, as that car just would not find any grip down through the middle of 1 and 2. He's trying to save it, trying to get that car turned down the racetrack. Unfortunately, the 07 of Tyler Brickford was right there, so he had to crank it hard back to the right here, and that's what will take him all the way around. He might have been able to save it, but with Brickford coming right at him, it was a good call to kind of get that car to hook back around, and unfortunately, that's going to bring out our caution flag, and then he's going to get T-boned right into the driver's side door, and that is Ty Ralph, who's going to end up getting into him here, as Ralph really just nowhere to go here in this one. He was up inside the top 10, having a good run and a good race, and this is the second time we've taken a look on board down through 1 and 2 on this 2 ride. At least this time, not as bad, as he did not go upside down there through the first couple corners. As we will get him ready to rock and roll once again in this one, we do see Dustin down pit side here, so a tough break for the Precision Auto Bodies. Big D, number 34 of Dustin Benton, as he is down pit side, as we are within 10 laps of racing action here this evening. Single file restarts, and that may play right into Hargraves' hands, as William Hargraves out in front, nice and easy down the front straightaway. We'll see that green flag fly once again here at Oswego Speedway, as Hargraves out in front trying to hold off Charles Barnes. Here comes T-Jack, Tyler Jackson. They're in position number 3, trying to work himself back to the point here in this one, trying to work himself around the 21C and that 71H, but he may not have enough time. But does he have enough tire to maybe get one of the top 2 here this evening, or do we see some contact, as we see a little right there from Charles Barnes? Barnes gets into the back end of the 71H. It washes the 21C off the racetrack. That may be the door that needed to be open here for the Alpha Shark, Tyler Jackson, as he's looking to take a big bite here out of Barnes and work himself into position number 2. Is down across the line. We will see another lap being clicked off the board here. Is only 3 more laps left in position number 4 and looking for more. He's looking to work himself up and onto the podium here this evening, as Joseph Pratt trying to hang on to a top 5, as Tyler Brickford down low looking to work himself into that 5th position. And here comes Philip Sexton, is down across the line. We will start our penultimate lap here this evening. Is contact back there behind him. T-Jack gonna go around Tyler Jackson, pointed the wrong way here in corner 1 and 2, and we will see the caution flag fly. A late race caution flag, less than 2 laps left to go, as we were on that penultimate lap. Hargraves was looking to run away and put this one to bed, and unfortunately he is going to have to deal with a few more laps, and he's going to have to try to hold these guys off for a green-white checkered finish. As we'll take a look, and it's contact down into corner number 1 and 2, as the 21C just gets in there a little bit too deep, and I do believe he's going to get into the back end of the 8 ride. Tyler Jackson right there gets into him, unfortunately, kind of jacks him up and turns that 8 ride around. You see the 21C wash up the racetrack here as well. The 2020 ride, for the most part, able to get through that without too much contact. Pretty good contact right there for the 07 ride, though, as Brickford gets into him pretty hard. Hopefully not too much left front damage there for that 07, but we do see Tyler Jackson take his car down pit side and off the speedway. So, unfortunately for T-Jack, that may and his hopes here this evening at a good finish, is now we'll get a whole different second look at the field here, as Hargraves out in front will now have Jeremy Sexton there in position number 2, as I'm not sure what Dustin Benton's doing, is that now it shows that he's in the race lead here. I think he thinks he's a couple laps down. He may be, so I'm not sure why I'm showing him in first, but we do know that William Hargraves is our race leader with Jeremy Sexton, Joseph Pratt, Tyler Brickford, Philip Sexton, now our top 5 here in this one. Brandon Van Houten there in the 6th position in that 76 ride with Jeremy Akins, Bryce Dickinson, Ty Ralph, and I do believe the 48 ride of Justin Blazier rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Jacob Sexton, Jim Revis, our top 12 with Eric L'Oreal, Charles Barnes getting the EOL back to 14th, and Dustin Benton back onto the lead lap there in the 15th position. As down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4, our race leader trying to set a very slow pace down through the bottom side of 3 and 4 as we go back to green flag racing. And green-white checkered finish as our penultimate lap gets underway here in this one. Hargraves with a great restart, able to hold off the battle there down through 1 and 2, and he opens up a little bit of a lead between himself and Jeremy Sexton. Sexton trying to stay right there within striking distance of the battle back there for position number 3. Gonna open up Tyler Brickford down low. Joseph Pratt up on the middle side here to the high side. He's gonna get up into the outside fence as Hargraves for the final time down the back straightaways. The white flag has been displayed. Hargraves down through 3 and out of 4. He will not be contested as Hargraves will pick up the feature win here this evening with the Friday Night Lights at Oswego Speedway, as Hargraves will pick up the win in the Hard Charger Award after picking up 11 positions. Started back in 12th and finishes here in the top spot and puts that 71H Mountain Electric Bibs Liquor Dirt Panda ride into victory lane here at Oswego Speedway. Right there behind him is Jeremy Sexton. We saw Sexton have hard contact multiple times on our opening lap, and unfortunately was part of that first caution flag. He almost went upside down and able to rebound here and put himself back up onto the podium here in 2nd spot. And there's Tyler Brickford, a good solid run here for the 07 ride as Brickford coming home in that 3rd position. But it's all Hargraves here in this one. William Hargraves putting on a show and putting the 71H up in victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all these drivers, as that was one hell of a race, one heck of a run here in this one, man. These guys put on an absolutely amazing show for us, right from the drop of the green flag, right down to the checkered flag. Here tonight, the Friday Night Lights, they do not disappoint. And these guys, man, they put on a hell of a show here in this one. As Jake Stefanski said, you could throw a blanket over the top 5. This is awesome. Yes, sir. It is absolutely amazing to see these guys battling like that out there on the racetrack. A little bit of rubbing and scrubbing here and there, but it's all for fun, as they're going to have some more fun a little deeper in the field here in this one, as a demolition derby has now started down on the back straightaway. We will take a look back there and see what's going on, as these drivers are going to have a little bit of fun. They're going to duke it out here for a little demo derby on the backstretch. We'll see if we can get a good angle or a good look at these drivers battling back here. You do see the big D there. His driver's going to try to work out some of their frustrations. They're going to battle hard here in this demo derby on the backstretch, as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth. Fred Edwards Jr., what's good, Fred? Frank coming in says Oswego to next Monday. Sextons, it's a new race in another track. Hey, man, the Sextons, they still showed up and showed out here. We do see Jeremy in 2nd and Philip Sexton coming home there in the 5th position. So overall, a fairly decent night for the Sextons here in this one. And we do see Richard says Giroux 2020 here in this one, saying go 2020 cars out there on the racetrack, as Just Viv says to a number 1 finish. Congratulations, William. Yeah, what a run and what a race right there for Mr. Hargraves. Heck yeah, Jeremy, way to go, buddy. Heck yeah is right. A good run and a good drive there for Mr. Sexton coming home in that 2nd spot, as Fred Edwards says good job, Jeremy, as well. Bryce says, don't know if that group has something out for me, but that was ridiculous. That's just unfortunate. good hard racing, unfortunate contact. I mean, not much you can do out there on the speedway behind the wheel when it happens, and it happens so dang quickly here at Oswego Speedway. As we're going to get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interview. Let's see if we can get them up here right now, ladies and gentlemen, as they are in there. And we're going to pull in Mr. Hargraves. William Hargraves picking up the win. We'll get him up here into the booth. Hey, Will, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Hey, Aaron, I got you, man.
Well, brother, man, what a run, what a race. Take us back through this one as fairly quickly you're able to make up some ground here on the field as the first caution flag coming out there at the start of lap number 2. You were able to gain a lot of ground there as a lot of the competitors there in front of you got tied up in that first initial wreck. You were able to open up the door there, gain a few spots, but then battle yourself through the top 5, slowly but surely getting around drivers like Dustin Benton there for the race lead, but getting around Charles Barnes, getting around, Tyler Jackson and Bryce Dickinson, Philip Sexton, some of these guys, Joseph Pratt up there as well. A lot of very tough competitors that are very tough to get around. But here in this race, you're able to slowly but surely pick away at it. Then all of a sudden, the door opens up ever so slightly for you. You send it in there. You make a little contact there with the 34 Ryan, just rubbing and scrubbing, both battling for that same position on the speedway and just good hard racing. And that's all of a sudden when we see the floodgates open for some amazing racing action as you guys go 3 wide here for the race lead for probably about 4 or 5 laps. It felt like as you guys were, switching lines, throwing slide jumps, throwing crossovers, and duking it out. We could throw a blanket over the top 6 as everyone else in the top 5, top 6, top 10 were right there on top of you guys in a quick hurry as the times were slowing down there, obviously battling 3 wide. Guys taking it a little bit easier, a little bit more cautiously, and throwing some big moves. Open up the door for those guys to catch back up to you, man, and put on a hell of a show for everyone here in the grandstands.
Yeah, man, that was a lot of fun for sure. This is a track, I bought the track, and to be honest with you, I've never raced this track. So when the night started, I thought I'd be all right, but then I went out and I started racing, and I kind of felt like I was out to lunch. I'm not going to lie. That I probably should have turned a few laps, but I started to dial it in there, and then probably honestly running that consolation race, it was probably good for me because it helped tune me in for what I wanted to do in the feature race there, knowing the track state carried over, and man, that bottom was good. It was real good, and it was so much fun racing up there. Dustin, for the longest time, he was trying so hard to hold us out. He would go up and he would take Charles, make Charles bump into the back of him, and then, get that cut down line back down in front of me there where I'd have to shut it down and just kind of follow in, and we just kept doing that lap after lap after lap, and I could see Dustin. He was doing that cut down, but he was getting real sideways, and I was just really driving the car straight. I mean, as straight as I could drive that thing and keep it down in that tack. And he was getting in that slick, trying to take Charles's line away as well there. And I think it was getting his rear end out farther. And I was just riding. I was like, man, I just need one little slip up. That's all I need. And he did it once, and I wasn't able to capitalize. And then tucked back in, and I just kept riding again, and then he slipped up just enough for me to sneak in there, and then it was on. Like I said, after that I was able to pull away there for a decent lead, but it was just a matter of I was just able to run my line, and like I said, I was able to keep the car good and straight right on the bottom, try to stay out of that slick as much as possible, but it made for a hell of a finish. It was a lot of good racing, and overall, it's a good night, especially for never running this track.
Absolutely. First time loading into Oswego Speedway and putting on a heck of a show for the 71H ride. And for all these fans, man, that was a hell of a show, hell of a battle out there on the racetrack. And, it wasn't even over at that point. We still had a lot of laps left to go here in this feature event as you were able to finally get around, Charles Barnes and Dustin Benton there for that race lead. You finally get that little bit of fresh air and that, openness down on the bottom side to really start to throw it in there a little bit deeper without having to really worry about making contact there with Dustin. As you said, Dustin was running that perfect line there, trying to, not only block you a little bit down on the bottom side, but also throwing that little bit of a block to Charles Barnes, trying to make sure that he can't get that big run on the outside lane to try to pull up door to door with him. And slowly but surely, it kind of just maybe wore out his equipment a little bit more and a little bit more, which really opened up that door for you to get around him. And then, man, he kind of fell back a little bit, then obviously ran into some issues. Him and a couple other guys getting tied together. He went around, and unfortunately not the finish that Dustin was hoping for here, but definitely the finish you were hoping for. Is once you got that race lead, you never really looked back, but you had a couple of those late race restarts to deal with, man. What was going through your mind there? Not only seeing, Tyler Jackson and Charles Barnes there right again on your back bumper late in this race, and then all of a sudden, they kind of get tied together. They go around. And now all of a sudden you got Jeremy Sexton, Tyler Breakford, Joseph Pratt, Philip Sexton, some other drivers that were a little deeper in the field storming their way up and through. Now they're on your back bumper. What was kind of going through your mind there on those couple last restarts?
Yeah, for sure. Those last few incidents there, they got kind of wild. I didn't get to see them obviously racing, but I was wondering what was going on for sure. And you just kind of see different drivers in your relative and in the position spot, but no, honestly, I mean, everything was the same. It was a matter of don't, just don't overdrive the car and hit your mark. And I thought if I could do that, it was going to be tough for somebody to get around me. I mean, Charles was running good on the top there for so long, but I think after the cautions come out, I don't know if the top would have been able to make it stick or not. That's honestly, I'm not sure, but I just felt good on the bottom, like that was the place to be, and I didn't feel there was any reason to change it. So, congrats to everybody tonight. I know some of the guys had terrible luck. I'm uh, I'm probably for my luck, it's probably fortunate for me that Tyler got wrecked. He probably would have been right there to capitalize on me as well. He's a hell of a racer and good at the bottom there, especially at the end, like he was coming up. And congrats to Charles and tough luck there with whatever happened with him too. But hell of a race and congrats to Tyler and Jeremy on their podiums tonight. And yeah, it's just a good night overall.
Absolutely a good night and a lot of fun out there on the racetrack, and that's all we can hope for when we load into the simulator. But Will, you're able to pull yourself up into victory lane. Another amazing performance out of that 71H machine. Who would you like to thank here on the night for such a great performance here this evening?
I'm gonna start off, Aaron, by thanking you for always doing a kick-ass broadcast and feeling it like you do. I gotta thank Dustin for putting this on for us. Him and his crew do an awesome job, running these leagues and trying to make it fun for everybody to get on here and race and have a good time. And gotta thank Viv for always watching the stream and supporting us, Dirt Pandas, and Viv's Retail Liquor, Melm Electric Motor Sales.com, Wild Bill's Race Designs or Joyride Designs, uh, uh, KC Speedworks for everything they do for us in open setups. All the drivers that race, all the fans and people that support the broadcast and watch the streams. And I think I got everybody.
Absolutely, brother. A big list, a lot of supporters, a lot of fans in the stands cheering you on here week after week after week, and I'm sure they were pretty excited watching you pull that 71H ride up and into victory lane. Will, congratulations on the win, and we look forward to seeing you back out there in action on Monday night as the Monday Night All-Stars will roll. I don't know where we're headed to, but I know no matter what, you're going to be a force to reckon with out there, and I'm sure we'll potentially see you right back up here in the broadcast booth.
For sure, Aaron. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
Hey, you got it, dude. Have a great night.
You do. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up to the 71H rider, William Hargraves. Hargraves putting himself into victory lane. What a run and what a drive here in this one, man. A great run and a great drive there for him as we'll get ready to pull in the 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton. As Sexton coming home here in position number 2. We're going to pull him up into the booth. Hey, Jeremy, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Not too bad, Jeremy, man. A good run, a good rebound here for you after obviously getting into some issues there in the opening lap and then down through 1 and 2 there on lap number 2. Things were looking a little bleak for you. Things were looking a little rough to start this evening at Oswego Speedway, but you're able to rebound, keep that car pointing the right direction, and you're able to work yourself back to the front of the field here and coming home in a very solid second place run.
Yeah, I think Bryce may have got into the wall there, and then it made contact with me in the next corner. Something was broke. It didn't want to turn, so I took the wall down. So at that point, I was kind of down in the dumps, thinking it was over, and I just decided to slow down and take one position at a time, and got some lucky breaks, obviously. But I couldn't be happier to at least make it back to the top three.
Absolutely, definitely a couple of lucky breaks. We saw a few of our drivers at the front of the field run into issues when you look through, Dustin Benton or Bryce Dickinson himself falling back there for a little while, running into a caution flag, and then we see Chad Puderbo in there. We see Charles Barnes and Tyler Jackson both running into issues late in the race, and it really opened up the door there for you to roll yourself back up into the second spot, and then all of a sudden, you're able to get another shot at potentially picking up the win here this evening as a late race restart. You got Hargraves right there in front of you. What's going through your mind there on that final restart, knowing that you have the potential to maybe take this win away from that 71?
I knew it was going to be hard, obviously, and I knew I used a lot of tires up by that point. I was honestly hoping at the best that he would maybe overshoot turn one or, whatever on the restart, but he timed it perfect. And from there, he was way better. I think he is probably 2/10 faster at the end of the race. So I was just happy to hold on to second and happy for him to get the win. He's had a rough season in both of these series as well. So definitely congrats to him.
Absolutely. A huge win there and a huge good run as well for Tyler Brickford coming home in third. But Jeremy, you were able to rebound nicely here and pull that 2020 ride up here onto the podium. Who would you like to thank for such a good run and good performance here on the evening?
I'd like to thank God first and foremost. Thank my son Jacob, my brother Philip, Michael Olson, all of our guys that we race with all the time, and the officials, the guys that put on the league, you for the broadcast, my wife for putting up with me all the time on here, and just everybody that comes out and races each and every time, and everybody that watches. My coworker Dave, he watches everyone. My dad, my stepdad, my mom. Uh, it's just something fun for everybody to do.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we like to see. Everyone out there having some fun, enjoying their time here on this simulator. Unfortunate contact, unfortunate break there early in the race for you as you and Bryce get together, but you're able to come back from it and put yourself up here into position number 2. Jeremy, congratulations on the great run. Congratulations on the great race, and we can't wait to see you back out there on Monday night.
I appreciate it, man. You have a good night as well.
You as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Jeremy Sexton as he comes home here in position number 2 here in this one as we'll get ready to pull in our third place finishers. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Tyler Brickford, the 07 ride, able to make that last lap pass around Joseph Pratt to jump up inside the top 3. A great run and a great drive there for that 07 ride. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth here this evening. Hey, Tyler, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
Yes, sir.
Tyler, man, a good run, a solid performance out of you here pretty much all night long, hanging out, just outside the top 5, right inside, the top 10, and, right within striking distance, and that's exactly what you did late in this race, as some drivers were starting to fall off, some drivers were starting to run into issues. You're able to kind of work yourself through them, and slowly but surely, you work yourself to the front of the field, and all of a sudden, you find yourself up and in position number 4 on the final lap. We see Joseph Pratt go to the high side, gets into the outside fence. It opens the door for you to jump up and steal this third and final podium position away from that 71 ride and pull yourself up here onto the podium, man, after a hard-fought top 3.
Yeah, man. I was just hoping to have a good finish and can't really beat a top 3, so I'll take it.
Absolutely. Got to take him when he can get him out there on the racetrack because there's so many tough drivers, so many good competition out there on the speedway. Did you think, starting this race or maybe even midway through this when you're watching those guys battle there at the front of the field, you see, Hargraves, Dustin Benton, and Charles Barnes go 3 wide for the race lead for multiple laps. You had a pretty decent seat there watching those guys battle at the front of the field. Did you think you were going to be able to find a way up there and battle with them and maybe take a couple of these spots away from them and find yourself up here on the podium?
It was always a possibility. It's racing, but I was probably a 6th place car all night. Just got a little lucky, and I don't know. It was good racing, good hard racing. It happens. So like I said, I'll take it.
Absolutely, brother. Well, you'll pull yourself up here onto the podium, Tyler. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great race here this evening?
You for broadcasting. These guys for putting it on. Bowman Designs and JMS for having me on the team.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out here on the racetrack next Friday. Hopefully, we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth. Maybe a little bit of momentum being built here for you this evening, and maybe we'll see that 07 ride one of these nights up in Victory Lane.
I hope so.
Absolutely. Enjoy the top 3 here this evening, Tyler, and hopefully we'll see you back out here next Friday and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, Tyler Brickford. As Brickford coming home here in position number 3. A great run and a great race there for that 07 ride. Unfortunately, that will do it for us here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. What a run and what a drive by all of our drivers here this evening, man. That was a lot of fun to watch. These guys put on one hell of a show for us there at the front of the field. That one was one that's worth watching back. And if you are watching it back, if you're rewatching this or you haven't yet, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit that follow and or subscribe button if you're watching over on YouTube. Turn those bell notifications on so that way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming, as we're going to get ready to go back live here in about 20 minutes from now. We're going to be back in action with our 2nd broadcast of the night as the MNT Cup Series will be heading to Michigan International Speedway for their Friday night series. So make sure you guys tune into that one and make sure you guys show the love here on the broadcast, coming in and showing, the likes, the shares, the comments, and everything else there in our 2nd broadcast of the evening, as well as we're a busy bee up here this evening in the broadcast booth, and there's no better place to be than right here watching all these drivers duke it out night after night here in this one, as we'll get them stacked up and we'll get ready to rock and roll for our 2nd race of the evening here in just a little bit. And hopefully I'll see you guys in here for it. Hopefully I'll see you guys in action and out here having some fun with us with the MNT Cup Series in just a few more moments. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. And I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. And hopefully I'll see you back here for race number 2. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out for now. And if I don't see you, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your evening.
Engine roars, dirt fires, dust in my eyes. Adrenaline hits fast, life blurs spinning past. Bleachers packed, cheering low, revving engines proud. Under lights we race, feel the earth's embrace. Fighting night, fight the night. Tires body gripping tight. Victory slipping sights. Under the lights we ignite. racers chasing lights. Friday night, fight the night. Tires, body grip, and